Hello and welcome back to The Modern Consultant. I'm your host, Mark Aarons, and on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of behind the scenes. In the last episode, I spoke about a 100K in 3 days funnel that we created for a client. And just yesterday, I posted a schematic, a funnel map that visualizes the exact steps of that system that's running right now for that client. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how we're investing about $50,000 worth of ad spend to put people into that process and some of the fractional chief growth officer thinking that's going into being able to optimize this process to continue to grow it. And I'll just tell you right now, at the end of that call, before we even got to the end of that call, the client was like, we've already unlocked a 1 million per year business model. And to him, my reply was, great. I'm going to show you how we're going to have each product line be worth 1 million and not just have like the core product line be worth 1 million. And then we're going to have, I'm trying to architect a 1 million per product line business model for him, which then gets us to 10 million per year. And the napkin math that I want us to get to is 1 million in revenue per month. So I'll share with you a little bit of the behind the scenes thinking that I use for us to be able to get there. So prerequisites to be able to get the most out of this episode, the SOAR model. If you've listened to earlier episodes, then you already know that the S stands for sales, the O stands for offers, the A stands for audience, and the R stands for rewards, sometimes short to revenue. I'm going to be upgrading that part of the model so that the revenue, instead, it's better described as ROI squared, return on investment, financial investment, and also return on impact, because everybody that I work with has a bit of an altruistic bent to them, myself included, and we like to make sure that whatever it is that we're providing, that we're being paid for, also provides an impact on the person who is purchasing whatever it is that we're selling, which falls into the offers category of the SOAR model. Now, to apply this to thinking and architecting the growth system for the business, we already know that we have this sales system that's able to convert people that we put into it over this 3-day sales cycle to generate that 100K result, right? And so then can we do that again? We figured out how to do that without live webinars. And so it's an automated process that's being able to generate the system. And that's going to be the recurring theme. We want to have automatic sales, automatic offers, and automatic audience generation as well, which then creates automatic ROI squared, automatic return on investment, automatic return on impact for the people who are then purchasing these offers. How close to that can we get? That's the general thinking. Now, let's talk a little bit about the math. So there's only so much that I can share to make sure that I'm not revealing the competitive advantage for any one of my clients. And so I'm going to generalize some of these numbers. So roughly in 1 month, $50,000 invested in ad spend. However, that was split across 3 kinds of lead sources. The first was an acquisition of an email newsletter, right? And so about $20,000 spent to acquire this email newsletter, and that turned out to be us acquiring leads at effectively a cost per lead of about $1 per lead, more accurately 93 cents per lead. And that's really cool because that's something that's extremely hard to match in the world of like Facebook advertising and stuff like that. And one of the principles here is to find channels that aren't already saturated. While it might not be the most scalable channel, if we can get $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 out of that lead source at a cost per lead of like $1, then what kind of return on investment could we have over a 30-day period, a 60-day period, a 90-day period? And I literally added a couple columns to a tracking spreadsheet that we have to be able to measure the return on investment over those timeframes, because the magic numbers, like the holy grail, is really going to be can we get a 3x return on investment in, like, say, 30 days? Is that even possible? Like 60 days would be good. 90 days would still be doable. But we unlock this fascinating growth engine when we're able to spend however much and then make a return on an investment, break even or profit within a 30-day time period, because that allows us to effectively put it all on a line of credit and then pay it off in a 30-day time period, or depending on the funding source or the banking or funding source, if it's a 60-day payoff period without incurring any interest, we're essentially acquiring them for free without even using our money to do so. That's part of the magic math that we're in the process of unlocking. Part of it has to do, of course, with being able to generate that return on investment, and then also to have it happen within that time period. And so part of my thinking here is to think of channels, lead sources, really as investment vehicles. It's not just about having people join the email list. If we know the ARPU, average revenue per user or average revenue per subscriber, is going to be, say, 5x over a 30-day or 60-day time period, and we know that we can acquire that average revenue, that user at a ARPU of, say, $1, then we know that we can spend $10 and make $50 in 30 days or 60 days. That's some of the math that we're trying to figure out here to see if it's doable. To be able to do that, you, of course, need a conversion system, which is where the sales portion of the SOAR framework comes in. If you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see the visual that I posted, and that's an example of a 30-day acquisition sales system, or it could be over the course of 60 days, whatever the time period is. It's an automatic acquisition system designed for higher end offers. So you got to have the acquisition system in place, and ideally, if it happens over a 30-day time period, 60-day time period, the reason for that is I want to remove my clients from the acquisition process without needing to necessarily hire a sales team and add more management overhead for that to happen. Also, if you don't have like this larger sales team, then there's less salespeople that you then need to pay commissions to for every single sale that happens. That's with thinking through like the sales portion of that system. Then, of course, you also need to have a offer system or a product suite. Part of what I share with my client is, yes, we do have this core offer that sells at 2K, 5K, 10K price points, and it's selling effectively. However, for us to be able to have some cold acquisition traffic math, we also want to have a couple other offers in place. We want to have an entry offer, at least like, say, 2 entry offers. Because what that allows us to do is when we, in the acquisition system that we'd set up, we'd be able to have somebody purchase something that's maybe sub $100, sub $200, and then after they pay for that, there's a would you like fries with that order bump, as it's called in the industry, that they can add to that, which increases the average order value up to a certain amount. And the idea here being for us to be able to maybe even profit or break even on day 0, as opposed to even waiting for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days down the line, to be able to have some of that math even play out and be more effective, in addition to the order bump that somebody can just one-click add to their cart as they're getting ready to check out. We can also add a one-time offer that they see after they click the checkout button. It takes them to an additional page that says, hey, would you like to upgrade your offer? Basically to include this other relevant offer that's going to help you get to the primary outcome that you want faster. And then we could have a secondary upsell, which upgrades to the core offer, which allows someone to effectively just, hey, you want to just bundle the whole thing and get the whole thing up now? Now, maybe we have a low percentage take rate on that entire offer system. But if it all happens on day 0, the first moment that they see it, there's no follow-up, and that's either break even or profit, then any additional sales that come in after that is going to be pure profit. And that's the system that I modeled out for him to say, hey, if we're able to do that, we should be able to create this 1 million per month offer system. And then from there, we'd also have a 60-day acquisition system for anyone who didn't buy on day 0 that unlocks an additional $1 million per year in revenue. And that's how we would get to $2 million per year with all of that whole automated sales system. And that sets us up to be able to leapfrog to the 1 million per month level of growth, because we now have the extra funds to just really flood whatever scalable traffic systems we're investing into that we have optimized, because we now have enough of a customer base to be able to leverage Google Pixels, Facebook Pixels, and all the pixels everywhere, basically to have algorithmic learning happening for us to be able to find more of our perfect buyers faster. That is the perfect storm that we're architecting. But to jump back to the earlier part of this conversation where I mentioned the 3 acquisition sources that we're using, the 3 lead sources, I'll get to the second one here. So first one for recap was we just purchased an email newsletter, and we're able to do that for a cost per lead of about $1, basically 93 cents to be exact. And if I look at the spreadsheet here, second source, we're actually running ads in email newsletters. That's been a very profitable acquisition source for us because, one, cost per lead here again is less than $2 or so per lead, and we're of course able to do multiples beyond that cost per lead amount within the span of like 60 days. And then the third acquisition source for us is actually a very interesting referral system that we are in partnership, that we're a part of. I'm trying to see if I can clarify the thinking around this. Okay, so basically when somebody signs up for an email newsletter, there are referral systems that you can be a part of that basically says, hey, if you like this email newsletter, you can also sign up for other email newsletters that are like that. And because we are listed on similar email newsletters, we are now getting referrals. We're purchasing these referrals from people who are part of that program, and we're able to get that at about $1.50 per lead. So again, still below $2 cost per lead. And the thing that we're going to see in about 30, 60, 90 days from now is how each of these 3 sources are going to perform revenue-wise. And this is where the fractional chief growth officer thinking starts to come in. Because once we have those data points, we will then see how profitable each of these sources were. Should we spend more time and money on acquiring newsletters versus running ads inside of newsletters? Or should we spend more time getting more money and time getting referrals from other newsletters for these different lead sources that we have? And these are all technically paid advertising sources because we're paying to be able to acquire these leads, but none of them fall within what people typically think of when paid advertising is referenced, such as like Facebook, running Facebook ads or Instagram ads or, Google PPC, which personally I love because what that allows us to do is to zig while everybody else zags. Everybody else is making a whole bunch of commotion in, this bigger pool over here, but then there's these untapped sources that allow us to acquire leads very cheaply and then have a high return on investment, because the cheaper the leads while keeping the quality of the leads high allows higher profit margins for my clients, assuming that a couple other things are in place. That one, we have an automatic sales system that is built to increase their credibility, whether people buy from them or not. And of course, it's also effective. And so people convert for their premium and higher ticket offers. And then 3, the other component is having offers that change their lives, that we're proud to sell. We know it's going to create not just a return on investment, but a return on student impact. It's designed to help people improve their lives. And that now generates, the ROI squared that I talk about, which is really rewards that you can be proud of. You're making money and you're helping people, basically, at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. So if you like this episode, let me know. If you're watching it on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, rate it. Let me know so that I can create more content like this for you. Really love these episodes, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Hey, thanks for checking out the show. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button and also subscribe so you don't miss another one. It also tells us which ones that you like the most so that we can then do more interviews like that. If you want to go from idea to implementation though, especially if you're wanting to productize your expertise so that you can scale your impact on your clients and of course grow your business, then join our email list. There we're going to talk about how modern consultants can productize their expertise so that they can have a greater impact on the world around them and live life on their terms. If that's up your alley, I hope to see you on the other side. Talk soon.